お前、俺たちにも聞いてほしいことがあるんじゃないのか？
ほらほら、恥ずかしがらずにドーンと思いの丈をぶつけてきてご
らん。お騒がせしてすみませんでした。もう一度俺を桜荘に置かせてください。
I will never forget that scene for as long as I live. Up until my most recent attempt, I've tried watching Sakurasou no Pet no Kanojo at least 3 separate times, each time resulting in an abrupt fail to fuel my next wave of excitement for the series. No matter how hard I tried or how many anime I turned down to give Sakurasou a try, I just found myself watching other things and eventually losing track of my progress. For the longest time, I just couldn't find it in myself to progress past episode 12, which really doesn't make much sense when you take into account just how damn good the show is. But all of that finally ends today. Am I right, guys? Guys? Hey, where'd you go? Words really can't express how badly I've been wanting to finish the show, and I can't help but feel both relieved and fulfilled that I was finally able to do so. I honestly think my experience with the anime has been something unlike any other show I've ever watched before. No matter how many times I accidentally dropped it or restarted from the first episode, the passion and excitement I had for the series was always there. I never really knew why until I slapped the completed button on my anime list, but now I know that it was the character's relatability and the emotion that sparked from that development that kept me so attached to the anime. I really do think Sakurasou has to be one of the most amazing anime I've seen in a while, for a lot of different reasons. With it being a new addition to my top 10 anime list, it easily jumped right up to number 2. I don't know how somebody ranks anime professionally, if that is even a thing, but I personally judge anime rankings depending on what all I take away from the show. I look for how the show wraps itself up, what emotions it sparked while watching, and how well written I believe the characters to be, as well as my relatability to them. I don't know if that's a normal way to rate shows or not, but that's my process at the very least. Regardless, Sakurasou shattered my expectations throughout all of these categories, and particularly the emotional side of things. Now look, when it comes to anime, I'm a bit of a bitch. There, I fucking said it. Any of my close friends will tell you that I'll cry at just about anything anime related if the moment hits right. I don't know, I just do. Maybe it's a condition or something, I don't know. It could be something completely fucking stupid and my dumbass will have tears streaming down my face like I just endured the harshest realization of post-nut clarity. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that Sakurasou fucked me up in a way that is only equatable to the same level of hurt that K-On! Dick slapped me with. I mean, it would not be a stretch to say that it raw dogged my fucking emotions. No vanilla I can't even fucking say it. No vanilla tags attached, my guy. Sakurasou grabbed me by the heart, pulled a bedsheet of depression over my head, and absolutely railed me with happiness from behind. And just like that, I became the anime's bitch. I'm sure there were a lot of better ways to describe that experience. Ways that you probably would have preferred hearing. And I'm sorry. Kind of. The anime really did invoke emotion in me that I hadn't felt before, and taught me so much about what it means to have a passion, and the process of discovering that feeling for yourself. Sakurasou, in my opinion, illustrated this concept better than any anime I've seen to date, and as a result, I fell in love with the anime for all of its amazing qualities. The interesting thing about Sakurasou is the fact that the characters each have such a major hold on the atmosphere of the anime, the protagonist Sorata in particular. I get that characters driving the plot of a story is nothing new. After all, plot really doesn't just progress along without something to propel it forward. Interestingly enough though, Sakurasou seemingly does this in such a beautiful way, one that I honestly just can't put into words. While watching the anime, I felt invested in these characters, to a point where I genuinely shared their joys and pains. When they smile and laugh together, you feel at home. When they cry and feel rage, you hurt. This attachment plays very heavily into the atmosphere the characters create with one another, making the audience crave more as the series goes on. Especially when they leave you on 3 solid cliffhangers and cause you to forego sleep despite the fact that you work that same very day and have stayed up for almost an entire 20-hour period without the slightest wink of rest. Oh my god, I'm in such pain, please help! Each character comes with their own set of troubles and highlights, painting the vibe of the anime with their emotions, their thought processes, and their individual personalities that make Sakurasou out to be a canvas of some sort. Due to this, the atmospheric experience of Sakurasou is a lot like a mother with Parkinson's holding her baby for the first time. It picks you up, shakes you a bit, and then it drops you. But in the end, it's actually fine, so woo, yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about! Each of the main cast in the anime are something of a coin with 2 sides in regards to the personalities. On one hand, they each have something that drives them to work hard and makes them happy. On the other hand, however, they have traits that make them relatable and human, allowing the audience to relate and see themselves in people rather than the perfect mannequin that may do no wrong or a blank slate that could easily be replaced with any other 5,000 anime protagonists. Most, if not all of these characters are majorly flawed. They fuck up, they say things they don't mean in the moment, and like most people, they have the fucked up urge to drag other people down to their level in the face of another person's success. To put things nicely, they suck. They're fucked up. These aspects of human emotion and many more are represented through the main character, Sorata. If I had to choose, I'd say Sorata's development in particular is what captivated me most throughout the show. I gotta respect the man, not only for his efforts and lessons he taught me throughout the anime, but for making Mashido duty a thing. Bless up my mans. Bro, if any of you guys in the comments try and tell me that Mashido duty isn't all that, you're lying to me and yourself. Sorry, but you are. Let someone give me Mashido duty, I'll be on that bed liggity split yer like Mashido, get your back in the house, girl. In all seriousness though, I think the lesson behind Sorata's development is a really powerful one, and can honestly help a lot of people who might feel bored with life or confused as to what they're doing with it. He starts out like anyone does in high school, bored out of his fucking mind. He knows something's missing in life whilst looking out the protagonist window with his protagonist desk placed snugly in the back right of the room, performing his silly little protagonist tasks. As he sits in the middle of class, staring out of his window, he thinks,
everyone around me all has something they're working towards. A dream, something that they can be proud of. But what about me? What am I missing?
bitches? Hose? A shower? Bitch, you name it, you probably don't got it.
Fuck you, voice in my head.
Look, man, I'm just trying to be supportive.
How the fuck is that supportive?
Well, I don't fucking know. While pondering thoughts like these, Sorata does what most people do when faced with the weight of their own failure. He pushes the blame off onto something else. As people, we have a natural tendency to turn a blind eye to our own deficiencies in place of something that could or could not have influenced our outcome in a situation. This is the building blocks of Sorata's character toward the beginning of the show, as he blames the lack of passion for anything in his life on other people and excuses he believes to be beyond his control. In episode 4, he explains his entire thought process, a thought process that's so relatable that it almost hurts to relate to. After countless failures in his advances with soccer, he eventually lost hope of ever progressing. It was because he felt that despite the effort he put in, he wasn't making any progress and he wasn't getting any better, causing him to see his efforts as a waste of time. Everyone at some point has felt what it's like to hit a brick wall, a point where you just aren't hitting that level of greatness you're striving for. You feel stagnant, like you're stuck in place without any hope of ever furthering yourself. Outside of YouTube, I do a fair bit of drawing, at least I try to anyway. I've been drawing for the better part of 2 or 3 years now, and while I'm no Picasso of anime titty, I have gotten better over the time I spent practicing. Throughout that experience though, I've hit many points of struggle, points where I genuinely just felt that no matter how hard I tried, I just wasn't going to hit that threshold of art that I wanted to achieve. Sakurasou, in a very interesting way, reminded me of these feelings through Sorata's point of view, teaching me something that I had always been missing in my life. It taught me that you in essence have a choice to make with the passion of your picking. You can either take those feelings of envy and stagnation and direct them towards your efforts to achieve something great, or you can let it get the best of you and keep you from doing what you love. Little messages like this are what makes Sakurasou shine in my opinion, as it not only relates to a large audience, but shows them that it's okay to feel these emotions, whilst giving them an idea of how to direct that kind of energy. And can I just mention that all of this shit is literally packed into the first 4 episodes of the anime? I know that might not seem like a lot out of a 24 episode series, but hey man, like the way the anime went about illustrating it was very well done in my opinion. These moral building blocks of the first little bit of the series acted as a really good foundation for the rest of the show, establishing not only the characters, but also building from Sorata's leap of faith and illustrating the thorny path that leap puts him down. Despite the main heroine Machiro being his motivation to change, she also ends up becoming his double-edged blade. He grows closer to her, constantly being reminded of his own lack of talent in face of her seemingly flawless success. As a world-renowned artist, Machiro seemingly has everything Sorata doesn't, and yet she depends on him. She has the world at her fingertips, but can't even do something as simple as dressing herself in the morning. Which, hey, unlike Sorata, I'm not complaining. I mean, humana, am I right? This creates for an amazing dynamic in my opinion, as Sorata begins to enter what I call the ghost phase of admiration. Because of Machiro's success, she feels so far away to Sorata, keeping him constantly running forward. The only problem he faces, however, is that the gap between them is too far, so far that he can't see her at all. I really felt invested in this sort of development though, as it represents a realistic depiction of what it's like to chase something blindly. Despite Sorata looking up to Machiro, he never actually receives anything in his efforts to match her. In fact, most of the time he just gets kicked back down to level 0 and has to rebuild where Machiro doesn't. Because of this, he often loses focus, feeling more and more demotivated and bitter towards her when things don't quite go the way he needs them to. Watching Sakurasou play with this line between jealousy and admiration was captivating in more ways than I can put into words. It's interesting how you can root for so many characters at once, despite each of them being on the other side of the spectrum from one another. This is because, like I mentioned before, they all have some point of conflict, something that makes the audience resonate through experience. And so, Sorata eventually has to learn that failing is a natural step in the process of bettering your skills. You're not always going to be the best, but as long as you strive towards something better and pick yourself up when you fall, you are in essence living your passion the best way you can. He shows the audience that while it hurts to be put down, you have the ability to come back better and more insightful than ever before, and I think that's a very uplifting message to keep in mind when dealing with passions of our own. In short, the road to both finding and maintaining your passion is a bumpy one. You'll hit many points of struggle, points where maybe you feel like you're stuck in place or don't even know where to go. You'll feel like you could be doing so much more despite making great improvements in the moment, and while I think it's a good idea to always search for improvement in your work, so too should you look at the feats you did accomplish. Throughout this video, I went through a few of the main themes I related to most throughout Sakurasou, but there are many more morals and characters to learn from and enjoy. As far as anime goes, I really do think this one has etched itself into my memory and cemented itself as number 2 on my list. I highly recommend you give it a try if you haven't seen it, or even if this video has made you see the anime through a new lens. That being said, I want to end this video off on a bit of a different note. A small bit of Sorata's feelings that helps motivate me whenever I'm feeling down or stagnant and might even help you. So no matter where you are in the world, if you change perspectives and take that leap of faith, that very same world has the potential to fill with many new colors. The world is a canvas, painted with a mess of many colors before your own. So go make your mark on it, and work hard to share in the vibrance of those around you. Thanks for watching, Ite Rashai!